Recording in progress.
Okay. All right. Pursuant to Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 40A, Section 11, and Wellfleet, Section 235, the ZBA will hold public hearings on September 25th, 2025, starting at 7 p.m. Under Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, this meeting will be conducted in person at the Adult Community Center, 715 Old Kings Highway, and as a courtesy via remote means for 940 MCR 29.10 and the town's remote participation policy remotely via Zoom. We have one case tonight. It is 2511 Gary Dion, 260 Kendrick Avenue, map 30, parcel 20, special permit pursuant to Wellfleet bylaw section 235-6.11B to demolish and rebuild single-family dwelling on a new location on the lot. And the board will be Jan, Will, Trevor, myself, and Manny. Mr. Dion, I understand you're on Zoom with a cold. I'm sorry about the cold, but we're glad that you're not sharing it.
I'm very glad I'm not sharing it. I'm glad I didn't drive down in the rain today. So thank you for allowing me to present remotely.
Sure. So you're on.
Excellent. Thank you. Good evening, Madam Chair, fellow board members. My name is Gary Dion. I am here to petition this evening for a special permit for proposed changes to a non-conforming single-family residential structure, Unit 6, within the Summer Winds Cottage condominium at 260 Kendrick Ave in Wellfleet. So this permit is requested to demolish the existing cottage and reconstruct a new cottage at a different location on the lot. I discussed our proposal with the acting builder commissioner, Victor Staley, back in October of 2024. He informed me that our circumstance would require a special permit under the bylaw 6.1E1 subsection B. So my wife and I were currently under contract to purchase Unit 6, and these required approvals from the town are a condition of our purchase. The seller has provided us a letter detailing their support and permission for this special permit application. So the existing Unit 6 cottage proposed for demolition is one of 6 cottages within Summer Winds, which is depicted in the site plan we've provided. Unit 6 is an existing single-story, 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 606 square foot cottage with a 16 by 8 concrete patio on the front. The existing cottage requires either complete refurbishment or demolition and reconstruction. The existing cottage meets all required front, side, and rear setbacks. The cottage has direct access to Kendrick Ave with its own non-shared gravel or clamshell driveway with parking for at least 2 vehicles. The existing cottage has all underground utilities and provisions to connect to town water through a new connection that's stubbed about 5 feet from the cottage. The cottage does sit outside the FEMA flood zone at elevation about 14 to 15 feet. It's important to note that the existing cottage very closely abuts wetland on the property, referred to as the lily pond on the site plan. At the time the Cottage Condominium Association was formed, it was recorded within the Condominium Association documents that the purchaser of Unit 6 should ideally relocate the cottage further away from the lily pond and Unit 5, which is our intention. You'll see on the site plan that the lot size, or the exclusive use area of Unit 6, as it's called, was inordinately sized larger at nearly 16,000 square feet, presumably to accommodate the option of future relocation. So the reconstructed cottage we're proposing to build would also be single-story. It would also be 3-bedroom, 1-bath, but it would be 800 square feet with a 10 by 15 front egress and sitting deck as detailed in the documents provided. The proposed cottage location would meet all required front and side rear setbacks. The cottage would retain the same direct access to Kendrick Ave with its own non-shared gravel clamshell driveway with parking for at least 2 vehicles. The proposed cottage would also have all underground utilities and connect to town water through the new provisions mentioned earlier. The proposed reconstructed cottage would also be outside the FEMA flood zone at an elevation of 15 to 16 feet. It would also be constructed on a 2-foot above grade, either concrete foundation or helical screw pilings foundation. There would be no basement only a crawl space below the structure. So back in September 2024, we did a site walk with the town's conservation agent, Alicia McKenna. She indicated that relocation of the existing cottage would likely be seen as very favorable by the Conservation Commission to improve the current ecosystem impacts. We're therefore proposing to reconstruct the cottage outside the Lily Pond's 50-foot setback or buffer, with the opposite right-hand side of the cottage near the base of a large hill or dune that's on the southeast side of the property. It's our preference, and it's recommended by the conservation agent, not to disturb the dune if possible. So we've therefore chosen a very narrow and simple shape for the cottage to fit into that space between the dune and the 50-foot buffer. We also propose to make numerous environmental improvements that will be desired by the Conservation Commission. These improvements would include restoration of the land within the 50-foot buffer through demolition of the cottage, removal of several dead and hazard trees, cleaning and regrading the entire lot, which includes new clean fill for 2 cottage crawl space holes, one for the demolished Unit 6, and the second for a former additional cottage that has since been removed. Installation of rain gutters and dry wells to manage rainwater from the roof of the new cottage, planting of new wetland species, and planting of numerous replacement trees and shrubs. So the intent is that the 50-foot buffer would become protected, unused, unmaintained space, enabling a natural habitat to protect the wetland if we are able to go forward with the proposed cottage reconstruction. Following a favorable outcome of this petition, we do next intend to file for a notice of intent with the Conservation Commission for our proposal. The board should also be aware that I appear before the Wellfleet Board of Health on August 13th, 2025, seeking approval to connect the proposed reconstructed cottage to the existing septic system. I received conditional approval pending the drafting of an administrative consent order by the town health agent and the solicitor. We are, however, now potentially changing course, aware that following a joint select board and Board of Health meeting, that the Board of Health regulations will likely now be again changing, potentially reducing the current triggers and mandates for new EIA system upgrades. So the proposed ACO is on hold because it may not be required. So we should hopefully know very soon a final outcome from the Board of Health once the new regulations go into effect, which is again hopefully very soon. So that concludes my remarks. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present my petition, for your consideration of my request. I'd be happy to provide any further details and discuss any comments or questions you have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dion. Do we have any letters on this one, Jim?
No letters, just a phone call asking a question about the project, and when I told her what it was, she was favorable.
Okay. Do either of you ladies want to speak on this project? No? Okay. Well, then I'll go to the board. Manny?
I think you answered my question. I just had a question on parking spaces, but you answered that, and I don't see why we couldn't move forward. Thank you.
Trevor?
So this hasn't been before conservation yet?
No, it's not, no.
Yeah, I don't see any issues at all. I mean, there's really no zoning concerns at all, except for the increase in square footage, which is still within the allowable square footage for a cottage colony unit. They're outside of the setbacks. I think they're doing a good thing as far as conservation is concerned. So I don't have any concerns.
I'm fine with the application.
And Jen has a couple questions.
I'm a little confused as to why they need a special permit. Maybe my fellow board members will tell me. I think they should get one just to be safe. But the bylaw says that they need a special permit if it's a non-conforming structure. And if it is non-conforming, I don't know what is non-conforming about the existing structure. Maybe it's not 25 feet away from the from Unit 5. But it's not becoming more non-conforming.
No, it isn't. I
conforms-
suspect
it-
it's because it's being demolished and rebuilt.
Okay, I mean, because it
That
meets all the
must have been
setbacks,
Victor's
it's
reason,
25 feet away
because,
from
yeah.
all other cottages.
It's being demolished and not rebuilt on the exact footprint.
Okay,
So I think that probably was what triggered
I just couldn't
Victor.
figure it out.
It's a
'cause
better footprint.
It's not less
It's-
conforming.
Yeah, it's not less.
Less non-conforming, I mean,
Yeah, right.
yeah. Okay, so a couple other things. We have a letter from the current owner agreeing to this application for a special permit, but the person applying, the applicant, doesn't own the property. So I think we have to condition the special permit on the sale
Right.
being completed. I-
Or it could be just with the consent of the association. right?
Well, that's the other
Yeah.
thing. We don't have the consent of the association. I mixed up the two things. We don't have a letter from the co-op
Right.
as a unit.
Yeah, we would need to condition it on a letter from the
Right.
of the
I mixed up the
association. We
two.
always have to have
And,
that.
and completion of the sale is
Yeah,
is
and
another
completion of the sale.
condition. And then the other thing is that the site plan is not signed or dated. So we would need a condition that a signed and dated site plan be, I don't know, how do we usually
Yeah,
do it?
you're
Be
right.
given to
It's not.
Jen or?
Whoa.
And the other thing is, I think the other condition we're going to have to put in there is that if the Conservation Commission asks them to move this dwelling, they have to come back to us.
Right.
Well, that's understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think that should be
Yeah.
a condition. Because we're giving a special permit to somebody who
Oh,
doesn't
I know,
even
but
own the
they
property.
were still, whether you had it there or not, they'd have to come back to it if they moved that
Because they would, because we would have presumably stamped this plan.
Yeah, okay,
and
I just
then
want to
the
make sure that's
building inspector
understood.
wouldn't allow them to build on that plan if they didn't have it in that place.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with what the applicant wants to do. I just think we need a condition
Make sure we
if
get
we
the
grant
conditions.
a special permit.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Okay. Are you ready to go to findings?
I shall move.
Second,
Sorry,
I'm sorry. Mr. Dion, did
oh,
you
I
have something?
apologize, I was on mute, I was talking away here, sorry. I was just going to say that we intend to have stamped drawings for both the architect and a site engineer, and we will have stamped drawings for the permit when we apply.
Yeah.
So, yep, understood.
Yeah, okay. Mhm. Okay, we have moved and seconded. All in favor?
aye.
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 Okay, this is what I have. 2511 Gary Dion, 260 Kendrick Avenue, Unit 6, Map 20, Parcel 30, request for special permit to demolish a 606-square-foot single-family structure and replace it with an 800-square-foot single-family structure. The applicant has entered into an agreement to purchase a freestanding condominium dwelling unit situated in the residential 1 zoning district constructed prior to the adoption of zoning bylaws. The square footage of the existing structure is 606 square feet, and the square footage of the structure, once the improvements are completed, will be 800. This freestanding condominium dwelling is a part of a cottage colony as defined in the Wellfleet zoning bylaws, and as such, the maximum floor area is allowed is 800 square feet. There were no appearances and correspondence in support or in opposition to the application.
There was the letter, though, from the current owner. There was a letter from the
Oh,
current
oh,
owner
there's a letter,
supporting the special permit.
How do I say that one? I mean, would they, I sort of like this, the current owner would certainly be in favor since the current owner wants to sell the house.
Well, no, just put this one letter in.
Favor,
in
yeah.
favor. That's what it is.
There was one, all right, there was one letter in support. No letters or appearances in opposition. Okay, no objections from the butters. The board has not received the consent of the Summer Winds of Wellfleet Condominium Association authorizing the improvements, so we'll condition on that. The applicable provisions for this application under the Town of Wellfleet zoning bylaws are Section 5.4.2, Section 6.1.5B, and Section 8.4.B. Section 6.1.5.1B, the board finds that the improvements will not be substantially more detrimental to the neighborhood than the existing structure. Section 8.4.B1, the board finds the improvements are suitable in that they are compatible with nearby land uses which would not be damaged. B, the board finds the roads, drainage, and other public utilities would not be affected by the improvements, and C, the board finds the improvements will not contribute to environmental damage. If anything, they will make it better. Section 8.4.B2 is not applicable. Section 8.4.B3, the board finds the improvements will not adversely affect scenic views from public ways or neighboring properties. I think we vote on the findings before we add conditions. Right. So any changes to the findings?
No, I move the findings as written.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, now, conditions. The applicant will submit a signed and dated site plan. 2, applicant will submit a letter from the Association approving the project. Anything else?
We have to condition it on the sale because
Yeah.
we're giving a special
Yeah.
permit to a prospective buyer.
Permit.
Ms. Diane, are you taking title to this real estate in your own name, or is there some other business entity you might be taking title into?
Yeah, it'll be my wife and myself.
Okay. So how do you want me to word that one? In terms of this, condition it on the sale?
On a completed sale of the
I-
property to the
I don't
applicant?
think you need it.
Does it
but
matter?
just-
I don't-
I don't think
Special permit
it's
go to the
relevant.
property? It doesn't.
It goes to the property, so, yeah.
property.
So
I don't think it even
I don't think
matters.
we care.
If someone came with the same plan, would you, if the sale fell through,
matter.
and someone came with the
We get a
same
special
plan, would you want that applicant to have to come in
How can
and
you
go
do-
through the whole process again?
How could you give a special permit to somebody
Oh, you
who
do it
doesn't
all
own
the
the
time.
property?
We do it all the
I did it
time.
hundreds
Somebody
of
who
times
doesn't-
as a
Architects come in,
professional.
get special permits for
Hundreds.
projects they're going to be working on.
I did it.
Builders come in, get special permits for projects they're going to be working on.
I did this many, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times as a professional.
Okay, I don't agree, but
I
okay.
mean, I've never,
So I do, I mean, the permit does follow the land. If we think that this plan is okay, and Mr. Dion does not buy the property, and the
Whoever
original
does can
owner
still-
does, could in fact exercise that permit.
Okay,
So,
It does not matter who owns.
right, and
okay.
do we need to say anything about the Conservation Commission?
sure, if you want to.
You don't have to.
I don't have to.
No, because they would have to, if they move it, the approval's gone.
Yeah, but we usually.
Yeah, we would,
No,
we
I
would
can't
come
come in
back
for
to.
a, I can't move a structure 25 feet, get approval for, put it here, then move it 25
you have to
feet and
come
say,
back.
this plan's any
We'll have to
good.
come
But
back.
we also
We're
usually
stamping this
condition
thing.
all of these
But
permits
that's what
that
we've
go to the
approved.
conservation with,
Well, usually they go to conservation first.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. So we usually say the applicant will,
You can throw a condition in that says if conservation changes the plan, they have to come back, but I mean, that's.
Yeah.
yeah, that will happen. No, I just wonder if
No
we
matter
have to,
what.
if we have to say you have to follow the recommendations of the Conservation Commission. That's what we usually say in these permits, is that it is conditional on,
But they're the ones that are going to impose that as well. They
Okay.
don't, they don't need two bodies
They also have to
imposing
follow
the
the
same
building code.
regulations.
right, right. Yeah, so we probably don't need it.
Follow
Okay.
general bylaws,
Yeah.
of the state of Massachusetts.
I'm fine, I'm fine. All right.
So we're
Okay.
not going to say if Conscom, if Conscom moves the dwelling, they have to come back to us?
They do, that's
Automatically.
understood.
They
The
do?
building inspector wouldn't give them a permit.
Okay, even
have
though we've
to-
Would
stamped
have-
those plans? Okay,
The plan would have to be changed.
Right.
oh, I understand
Remember, you
that.
weren't sure they needed a permit to begin with.
That's true, but I'm still not convinced they need a special permit. When you read
So then they
that-
wouldn't need-
When you read that bylaw.
Right, okay. So,
So I move to grant the special permit based on the findings with the conditions as
as.
just noted.
Right. Are you seconding
I'll
it?
move it.
He's
I mean,
moving.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye.
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 Congratulations, Mr. Dion. We can't stamp these and give them to you because you're not here,
That's fine.
but we probably
I'll
wouldn't
liaise
stamp
with
them
you.
anyway because they're
have to be
They're
signed.
not, signed.
In the meantime, should we stamp these so we at least have a record of?
Yeah,
what we
let's stamp
approved?
these, yeah.
I can mail them to them.
Restamp,
I can restamp at some point.
restamp when we get the signed ones?
All right. Great. You stamp. I don't stamp. Why am I stamping?
You
That's
took
not
my
my
job
job. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how to stamp. Clearly, I don't know how to stamp. Yes. Goodness, you're here. So we will have these on file. When you bring in the other ones, then we will restamp with those, but in the meantime.
Yeah, I'll work with Jennifer through
Sure.
all that. Yep, no problem, thank you.
All right, and you are finished.
Excellent,
We wish
thank
you
you. everyone.
luck with the
Thank you, appreciate
project.
that, have a good night,
You too.
bye-bye.
Just for my information, so when an applicant has to bring in additional items, like a stamp plan or a letter from a condominium association, when does it go to the town clerk? Once they supply that information? I'm just curious. Or,
I don't send anything until the appeal period is up. I send a decision.
oh, that's true, yeah.
But it's just a preliminary decision, just letting people know that this decision happened, and then we have a 20-day appeal period.
All right, so as long
So
as
she, town clerk gets it on the 21st day.
okay,
So,
all right. If you don't have that information by then, though, what do you do? I'm just curious. Never happened, right?
Not in
Oh, this is
ZBA.
the first time.
In Conscom, if it happened, which it sometimes does, we hold the permit until they submit the materials.
Right, I'm sure we would do that here, too.
That's what I thought.
We would hold
Okay.
it from-
Yeah.
But generally, it doesn't. I mean.
Right, I was just curious.
of the-
There's always a first time. you
There's
know.
always a first time, yeah.
We're just trying to help this guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
Place
absolutely.
looks so,
and I think this guy's got other,
move along.
got other things that have held him back for forever anyway, so.
Yep.
All right.
We just have one set of minutes to
We
it?
have one set of minutes from July.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I move the minutes as written.
Yeah,
Second,
all in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, yeah. Did you,
They're here to
just came,
observe.
they just came.
We're just familiarizing ourselves with you.
Oh, well, good, thank you very much. We're
We're
happy
highly
to have you.
entertaining.
We're happy to have you here.
You are
Yes.
brave souls.
Yes, we're happy to have you here. All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Yes, all in favor?
let's go.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay, very good. Bring those over, thank you.